Live. Welcome, everybody, to the People's Pod.
Ba-da-da-da. We're back. It's the week 4/5/ not really sure how to call it week of
The
the
week
People's
4
Pod.
recap episode, baby.
The 5th episode recapping week 4.
I like that. Should I just add all of that to the title on YouTube?
Yeah, use all the characters you can in the title. I'll have all of our listeners and viewers know I've closed my blinds, sort of, mostly, so no strange person can gather my attention from outside and lead me away to mayhem.
That has to be a top 3 event in podcasting history, no?
In history? I don't know about history. In our
History.
podcast history, perhaps. Okay. This is fun. I like this tangent already. Can you name 2 other monumentous occasions in our podcast history? I have one that immediately comes to mind. I was just thinking about this the other day. But I want to let you noodle on it why don't you noodle? I'll share mine. It was when I was visiting Bill last year and we had the dad off or whatever. And we were talking about a different matchup and Bill's like, loser has to become a dad. Like loser has to impregnate their girlfriend. Well, that's a high stakes league.
That's very high stakes.
We're like drunkenly laughing and laughing and laughing and freezing and garage and bend and laughing and freezing.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the biggest historical moments was when that Imposter Pod was released for the first time ever, using the same exact podcast title. Just bodied us out of the way. That was weird.
I also like when that podcast went on the road. Their host had been complaining about the length of our podcasts, and then he goes up to Portland and gets the Bill and Pebbles on his, and they go for like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my god! And just like the worst tangents you've ever heard too. Yeah. Good times. That was perfect for me because I remember I was actually in Washington listening to that pod, driving from Seattle to Yakima. So it's like going over the mountain pass, just listening to these fucking ramblings. It was good. It was perfect. It passed time wonderfully. How was your weekend?
My weekend was jam-packed. Friday night, go to the Padres game. At this point, they had yet to clinch a playoff berth. We end up losing that game. We actually left early, Chelsea and I, because she was feeling sickly. So I was all grumpy because we were losing and grumpy because we had to leave early. and then they lost, although I wasn't there to see that. So that was nice. Also saved on Uber costs. You leave the game early and Ubers are cheaper. Who knew? Saturday was a full day. First of all, I would be remiss not to mention that we got another night out going on. We have just a refrigerator dedicated to only pumpkin spice flavored cocktails. I had that cider last night. It was pretty good. Maybe not the best cider I've had, but definitely pumpkin-y. In any case, Saturday was really nice because we had a leisurely, lazy morning. And Chelsea was getting over whatever her illness was, but I made breakfast and we kind of putzed around the house a little bit. And then we made our way to the Bates Nut Farm. That's what it's called, Bates Nut, because we wanted to go to a pumpkin patch and do a little cutie pumpkin patch date. It's about an hour to get there from our place to the pumpkin patch, but you go like pretty inland and then you like get off the highways and you're doing like backcountry roads for a little bit. I mean, they're like paved, not brutal, but you're going like 40 miles an hour at max. On the way, we stopped at the dispensary called SDRC, which is an amazing place that I had never visited. I was still looking for a place down here. There's a whole year's passed and I hadn't purchased anything marijuana related because I was re-up on vape cartridges whenever I went to Santa Barbara with the pharmacy. In any case, went to SDRC. It was amazing in there. Just the most legit operation I've ever seen. We re-upped on some stuff. Drove to Bates Nut Farm. You and I had a nice chat. That was fun. Get to Bates Nut Farm, and I was expecting like a pumpkin patch and then like one of those old timey like market stores you can go in and like get nuts and whatever. It was a full on like carnival fair. It was nuts. There were
Whoa.
tons of stands of like funnel cake or like shaved ice and like dozens of like, buy this fill in the blank piece of shit antique or like thing, right? Like tons of those. Legit like food trucks, giant food trucks that were brought in. I actually got some Hawaiian chicken myself. There was a marching band there that was marching around playing like a variety of songs.
Whoa.
It was kind of hot. They were sweating. They were marching around, just like sweat dripping down their face. So it brought me back to my years, the band. Glorious pumpkin patch. Pumpkins of all sizes, little tiny ones that were called Wee Be Little, all the way to like giant ones that like, couldn't put your arm around. So that was fun. Got some good picks there. Bought some pumpkins, bought some nuts. I got pistachios. They were great. Bought some other random shit. From there, went to a winery in the area called Hilltop Winery. So nice little date time. Chelsea and I shared a charcuterie board of some baked brie and crackers and some fruits and other nuts and whatnot. So all in all, very satisfying day. Sunday morning, watched the morning games up to a certain point. And actually the night before, Saturday, the Padres won. And I was like out drinking at Pacific Beach with some friends, and I like drunkenly messaged Chelsea like the Padres could clinch tomorrow. We should go. She follows through with that drunken statement of mine. She gets tickets. It's a 1 p.m. game. So we left the house at like 12:30-ish. After it was, again, just described to you before we started recording about like the half-hour stretch where like each one of my players who were active were like in the red zone, but none of them hit. And so at this point, it was like, all right, I'm gonna lose. Like my guys are done. Went to the game. They lost that game. The Padres did, but so did the Brewers. And the Brewers, a combination of a Padres win or a Brewers loss, got the Padres in the playoffs. It was pretty funny because you had like the out of town scoreboard in the stadium, and like the entire stadium is watching the Brewers Marlins game because they were like hours ahead, right? Like 3 hours ahead. The Marlins had a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. The Brewers get 1 run in the 8th and 1 run in the 9th. Tie game. Then everyone, that reaction happens within the stadium. Their game goes into extras. The Padres White Sox game is like a pitcher's duel. Nothing's really happening. That game went to like the 11th inning with a bunch of lead changes, and finally the Marlins won 4-3. And so at that point, it's a pretty crazy video of like Josh Bell comes to the plate, just like it's like 1 out, there's nobody on, whatever, and all of a sudden the stadium just erupts, and everyone's going crazy, and like the players understand what it is, and it was a cool moment, even though Padres lost that game there and the rest is history, except actually, now we're talking about baseball on our podcast. This is a good historical moment when Brad was my co-host for a few years ago. I remember in 2020, we had like our baseball section.
Yeah, it was a big hit with the fans, but the producers cut it.
So anyway, I owe Weaver a shot from the Padres Dodgers that we mentioned last week. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
That was my weekend.
It was a
How
good
about you?
weekend. Action packed. That carnival sounds lovely. Or that nut farm.
Bates Nut Farm. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Had everything.
Do you think, is that like an annual, what sounds like it's an annual thing put on? Like
This
partially
place is like a legit business. Every holiday is going to be like that. This is the first time we had actually gone there, but like we saw a bunch of Christmas stuff they already had in the back, and like I imagine they're just raking it in. You had to pay for parking. There were like thousands of people there. Um,
Dude, I would love to own a parking lot that I can just charge people money to park on and have such low like maintenance fees. Like
mhm.
it that just sells itself. Right. Uh,
This nice pumpkin spice takes the edge off of that shot.
Hey, there you go. My weekend was a lot different than yours. I had a little bit of a spa retreat
Oh yeah, that's right.
of sorts. Yeah, JJ and Brittany went camping and needed a dog sitter, so I offered with the agreement that I would stay in their house, their mansion, and so I had this whole mansion all to myself from Thursday all the way through Sunday football, and so yeah, I got to swim. It was unfortunately like windy for a majority of the time that I was there, and it wasn't hot tub weather and it wasn't really swimming weather, but I went in anyways just to do it. Um,
Lounging weather.
Lounging weather, yeah. I played a lot of video games as I am wont to do. I played several rounds. I think I played 4 rounds of Wingspan.
Solo wingspan,
Yeah.
which apparently everyone in our league loves. You have miscategorized someone's appreciation.
Yes, I must throw out an apology. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm just going to say it. O'Malley, sorry for misrepresenting you and your feelings towards Wingspan. I really cannot wait to play with you and other people in this league. But yeah, that was a hoot. And then I brought a frozen Chicago style pizza that we had overnighted from Chicago back for New Year's, and it's just been like chilling in the freezer for months without no reason to cook them up. So I brought one
Blue
of those.
Malnati's.
Blue Malnati's, yeah.
Mhm.
It was very good. I love deep dish pizza. And yeah, just hung out with the pups. We went on walks. I watched some Lord of the Rings while playing video games. It was just like a chill. It was nice to like hang out by myself. I realized that I've never lived on my own before, and it was
Mm.
interesting to like be solo and like only do what I wanted to do. Shockingly, often that was nothing. I want to do nothing, but yeah, it was a good weekend.
Dude, I forgot to mention I finished another one of the Scalzi books that you gave me.
Ooh, which one?
Agent to the Stars.
That's a fun. They're all fun. I love Scalzi. His writing style just, I have a hard time putting his books down. Where if other books, I'll get a little sleepy. You read it before bed, puts you right to sleep. Read it after coffee, puts you right to sleep. Scalzi, I stay up reading his stuff. I'm glad you're enjoying him as much as I am. What's your next one going to be?
I think Fuzzy Nation is the next
Yeah,
one. There's only 2 left. That one's on top, and yeah, I think that's the one.
Fuzzy Nation is a fun one. That's like the intro. If you want to get like, this is maybe controversial thing to say, but like Scalzi, for those of you who haven't read him, he always has like a Han Solo-esque character, like a quick-witted, like bravado male lead that's always clever and just is like anti-establishment. Um, and so to like get like a partner to read that book, Fuzzy Nation is a great introductory book to his style because there's like fuzzy critters and environmentalism. So I don't know.
She
It's
hasn't yet pulled the trigger, but I sent Chelsea some excerpts from Old Man's War, but basically related to
H.
not H-ness, but like love, and like his memories of his wife and his admiration of her, and then his juxtaposition of this person who's like living in his wife's body, and then those conflicting feelings of like it's her but it's not her, and then growing to love that her, and then just like for all the male bravado that you speak of, which is like very accurate, there is some like heavy hitters in there.
Yeah, yeah, he can surprise you.
Yeah.
Anyways, this isn't a pod about us and our personal lives or
Yes, it
things
is.
that we
That's why
like.
people listen. It's the catching up on the boys.
That's true. They actually just ignore all football related
They
content.
listen
They
to
just,
that and they skip to the picks, and then that's it. That's how
yeah.
people listen to this pod.
Have you ever looked at our YouTube analytics before?
Not this year, but like before, yeah, when you're uploading the videos, it shows you your views and all that.
Views, the average retention per view, stuff like that. Like randomly, one of Stu's videos, I think week one, got like 80 plus views, and I was trying to figure out like what the fuck, and it's just the intro song. I think Max is queuing up the intro over and over.
And unlike Spotify, where Stu actually gets royalties, we're all playing YouTube where he gets no royalties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, fun
Yeah.
storylines.
The stack talk. It's
Stack off.
back. The stack off. Oh, I like the stack off. Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton had the biggest week of the week, which is quite nice. We're making progress, warming up. But that doesn't matter because Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs still remain the undisputed best stack in the league, even with a down week from Diggs. I mean, they have 195 points combined. The next closest is Kyler and Marquise Brown at 143.
Oh, these are accurate
So that's
numbers.
fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. And I keep doing the math on Tom Brady and Julio, and it's impressively bad.
What is it?
I think it still hasn't cracked 100. It's like 92.
Is it the Dax CD numbers accurate? That can't be accurate. Did you update?
It is accurate. Well, it's not accurate.
19.6. That's not. Yeah, that's not.
Right.
CD had actually a good week this last week.
Mm-hmm. Brady and Julio have combined for 71 points this season.
Oh, I think that's actually higher than what I guessed, I think.
Yeah, for two players after 4 weeks. Ouch.
Yeah. So we got Diggs, Allen, we got Kyler and Marquise. Who's the number 3 stack?
Number 3 stack is Stafford and Cup, followed by Derek Carr and Devontae Adams.
No
and
longer
then
a stack.
finally,
oh wait,
I know.
Yeah, no, that stack is dead. It's a dead stack.
It's a dead stack. But had they been maintained, they would be in 4th place. And then Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton coming in. My team, yeah, I know. The pressure is mounting. Oh, wow, that's fun. I actually misspoke earlier. There's a 2-way tie, literally. Marquise Brown and Kyler tied Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton. The exact point total. Yeah, so that's fun. For this week.
How does that make you feel?
I'm stoked that they did well. They finally hit once, and it was such an amazing feeling. And I love that feeling, and I can't wait to feel it more.
25% chance of a hit is what we've learned, right? 4 weeks, 1 hit, stack hits.
Oh, no. Not like this. Yeah. Anyways, it's fun. Moving on to the league pick'em. Your boy is kind of in sync with the league this year. I got 4 picks right. I should have had 5, but I bailed on my heart. Always listen to your heart, boys, not your head.
Listen to your heart. Yeah, it was a rough week for me. This past one.
Yeah. You and Adam both got 2 selections right. Pebbles got 3. Stewart forgot to submit his picks. Unfortunate for him as he's gallivanting across Europe. I have no pity for him because he's having a great time. Somehow always engaged in GroupMe at all hours of the day and night. It's remarkable.
And early
When are
morning.
you sleeping? Yeah. Did you? I'm so curious. Stu's travel, like his hangover cure, is such a process. Do you think that he like brought a Costco pack of 5 Hour Energies to Europe? Because I can't imagine that they sell 5 Hour Energies in Europe
Well,
based on
in my travels to
toxicity.
Mexico, I know they have electrolyte, which is
Yeah.
pretty good without the caffeine though. So maybe you can find a little espresso and electrolyte combo. That sounds like a nice little stew
Uh-huh.
supplement.
Mm. Yeah. I actually found when I was drinking heavily in Spain while we were working out there that regardless of how much wine I had, I never really like suffered from it. I don't know if it's like the quality wine or like maybe some sort of preservative action, but yeah,
Good, good.
drinking in Europe is lovely.
Um,
Anyways, the current standings, I'm at 15 points, you're at 14, Stu is at 13, Adam's at 11, and Andrew is at 9. Still trying to play catch up after missing that first week of picks.
well, as we saw last year, it's a long season and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of season left, a lot of picks to be made.
A lot of picks to be made. Moving on. Next segment.
Yes, popular group me posts.
Use this newly integrated feature that had never before been discovered
Yes,
until
so
last
going
week.
through, let's see, we'll do all the 6s, 7s, and 8s. We'll start with the 6s. That was day. Those all in the same day. What about week? Oh, okay, yeah, this is all right. We won't do the 6s. We'll go with the 8s. Actually, let me go with this. All right. First one is Scott has a custom meme. It's from this is the end where it's Michael Cera blowing a bunch of what I think is cocaine into Christopher Mintz please McLovin's his face.
Yeah.
With the caption Night Lord dying early in a movie reminded me of M. Sarah in This Is the End.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough time to start at 6s because I'm looking at 10s, 9s, and 8s.
I went down to 8. I scrolled down to 8 because I was only
Okay.
doing the day filter and then I went to the week filter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Next one is Adam taking his customary shotgun. I do want to say I extremely appreciate this one because that beer came out of nowhere. So again, I think we have to applaud Noelle and her participation, continued participation in Adam's drinking videos because that was sweet. Where just this beer comes out of nowhere and he catches it and then cracks it open and shotguns it. That was great. Next, Scott talking about starting a round of steroids for his flare-up and the coincidence that his team is also playing like they're on PEDs and his team's name is PEDs.
Oh yeah.
Of which there's no coincidence. 8 likes.
Good luck with that stuff, Scott. That's gnarly.
Okay,
we're here
this
for you,
is
buddy.
a lot. We got to power through these things. Okay. Stu saying this is in relation to what are you doing up? Where's your wife? You're on your honeymoon. Stu says she's asleep! Exclamation point. It's 11:56! Exclamation point. Dad's drunk and salty! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point. I think that's the Stu we all imagine when we imagine Stu is that version of Stu right there.
Yeah.
Max is lamenting about his trade of Juju, Sanders, and Olave. And a butterfly viewing. 8 likes somehow. Oh, then there's O'Malley lamenting about Weaver's bashing of him. Got 8 likes as well.
That butterfly comment is about the butterfly effect, like the ripples of your decisions.
Or did he just see a butterfly?
No, he didn't just see a butterfly. No. Continue on. I just wanted to clarify though.
Max, you're listening. Did you see a butterfly? Or are you referencing the Butterfly Effect movie starring Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart, where he has all these different effects that happens in his life?
Is that with Amy Smart? No,
that's right.
I thought it was.
Amy Smart is really sad because in one of the alternate timelines, she becomes a prostitute, and then it just gets, yeah, it's not great. Bacon also got 8 likes. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Max asked Scott, what's the deal? Are you good? 8 likes. We then learned that Scott's going through all that stuff. Again, Scott, we're here for you. Oh, this one was good from Stu, lamenting at the Midwestern cheaters at trivia. Just wanted to be like, damn, it's crazy how well your Wi-Fi works down here. I agree with Scott. This is like a damn near perfect line to say after that. Because it's like the implication without actually saying it out loud. So that's good. Then it's Pebbles saying, am I Bill or Pebbles? Because GroupMe was freaking out with their avatars yesterday.
And today.
And today. Stu not hanging out with the degenerates, 8 likes. Evan commenting, I can't believe drunken student make a scene at trivia with the cheaters. O'Malley saying that's definitely clickbait. I think that's a reference to our pod last time or something. Mix off to mix in. God, there's way too many of these posts. Okay, we might have to limit this to the next. We're skipping to the 10s. Brad going through athletes faster than Kendall Jenner, 10 likes. That's a good one.
So good. That made me laugh out loud.
PB Lee putting the 4 levels of clowning. Yep, that one, very good. Yes, that's basically fantasy half the time for everybody. Oh, Adam gets 9 likes for South Park anchorman committing suicide on camera. I actually have a GIF that I like to send a lot of times. There's a dude listening to like some headphones as like he pulls up this like pistol and puts it against his head. It's the same exact thing where it's like, all right, it's time to end it. I send that one to Brad a lot, mostly about the Padres. Then we have Evan and Fam, Alice and the gals on a lawn, 9 likes. And that's that. This is enough of this.
Yeah, that section is fun. It's great reminiscing. It's also funny to me to like look at that section and see all the great messages that I forgot to like or just like skimmed over, I'm like, oh, it had 9, could have been 10. Like, I like it. Sorry.
Oh, you can actually sort by yourself too. Let's look at all of my posts within the last day.
What's the highest hearted? Four hearts?
No, I got a few 6ers here. But that's the high, which is not that great, Oh, you can also sort by my likes. This would be a never ending.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get out of here. Abort. We're getting the message from the producers. We got to move on.
All right, let's skip to waiver wire.
Yeah, this is fun. So the first player on the waiver wire call out, and we're not going to go through all the players, obviously, but George Pickens for $24. This is a fun story, fun history of this player. He was drafted by you, right? Late round flyer, which you bailed early on him. Totally fine.
I think after 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, and he had like through 2 weeks, he had like 3 receptions or 2 receptions. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up something else that's worthless.
Yeah, you just shot your shot, didn't want to wait on him, and then moved along. Then Yadam picked him up, dropped him the following week for the flyer on Jordan Mason, backup running back for the 49ers, because as you all know, Elijah Mitchell and Tyrion Davis Price both got hurt. So yeah, this was one of those hopeful situations.
Do you know how much he spent on that one?
$6 on
$6
Jordan Mason
on that one. Okay.
Who he then went on to drop a week later. So that's fun. And flash forward 2 weeks, and he's blowing his load, $24 on George Pickens. He is hurting, folks. That's how you know somebody is not feeling good about their team.
That's he is the back-to-back Sacco champ. He is winless through 4 games. Got to make some moves. Got to do something.
I will go down with this Pitts. That's a fun new team name.
Oh wow! Wow! That literally happened during the podcast.
Yeah,
it's crazy how often changes happen while we're recording this.
Yeah,
I will down with this.
I love it.
That one is pretty good.
The most bid on player this week was Isaiah Pacheco which is shocking to me considering that he only went for $9, being the most bid on player.
Mhm.
Luckily for the luckily for Adam, actually, I think it is. Yeah. It's a silent auction, right? So that's cool that he won the auction. And then $12 on Mike Boone. This is an interesting one. It might be a clear path to touches and value, depending on what the like Hackett list Broncos do. They're not Hackett list, they're hapless, but Nathaniel Hackett has been weird for them as a coach. Anyways,
Yeah, that one's
Melvin Gordon got benched in favor of this guy.
I think he's gonna get the lion's share, Gordon. And then I personally removed my modest $7 bid for Boone because I realized I didn't want him, because they also have Latavius Murray, who was brought up and then had 11 carries and did pretty well with them. So I thought beyond Gordon, who I think is going to be the obvious lead, it would just toss up between those two guys. And personally, I wouldn't have even started them this week, Boone or Murray. So what do you think? Did you get in on that action on Boone?
I actually didn't place any bids this week. I'm in the unfortunate position where I don't
You
feel
got no money.
I have so much money, but I don't feel like dropping anybody on my roster because I think that everybody currently, I was telling you this before we started recording, my handcuff strategy has hit on several occasions already. Mostert seems like he's actually not the handcuff, but the starter. Naeem Hines, Jonathan Taylor is out this week. So all of a sudden, I have the starting running back for the Colts. Jeff Wilson Jr. hit. Alexander Madison, not going to drop him, especially with Dalvin Cook already dealing with an injury. So then my options are to drop Keenan Allen, Robert Tonyan, or Darnell Mooney, which that last player, you could argue, yeah, cut bait with him, but he had a good week this last week. So I think that I'm in this weird position of a majority of my players already have a path to 8 points. And that's kind of the range of the points that I think that these players on the waiver wire this week are going to provide.
Who are you dropping when Robertson's back?
Robinson? That's a great question. I'll have to come to that decision when
Gonna meet with some team leaders and see what the consensus is.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a locker room poll and see who's the weakest link.
Yeah. Rolling with the Chicago defense still, huh?
Yeah, I've made mistakes. And I don't know. It's just the worst. I hope Kirk Cousins just gets sacked a million times.
It could happen.
It could.
Hey, the Angels could win the pennant. It could happen.
Gosh, I don't know if you saw this, but there was an article today, back to baseball. The most accurate prediction of an economic recession or / crash is when the Philadelphia Phillies win the World Series, and they just qualified for playoffs over the weekend or like this week. And so like, yeah, it popped up on my news feed. I was like, oh man, that's funny. What an odd correlation that somebody figured out.
You want to talk about these trades in review, or should we move on to our super awesome and brand new segment?
Oh, in the interest of time, let's move on to the brand new, never before done, super well thought out segment. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, this is good. I would love for you to have the pleasure of introducing it and choosing the first pick.
All right, everybody. We are the People's Pod TM is proud to present to you our new segment, drumroll. Golden Nuggets. We're gonna never before done. We're gonna recap each week's matchup and give golden nuggets of positivity to the losing team they're already dealing with an L, and we're gonna
Yeah.
just give them something to look forward to. Peebly posted that meme about the clowns. Fantasy's fun. My team's good. I hate my life, right? We're gonna make Peebly feel good about his life.
Yeah, Pep. Just because you lost, did you lose? Just because people who lost doesn't mean that they don't have some golden nuggets on their team of hope and signs of the future.
Signs of life. Yeah. So we'll actually
Pebbles actually
start with
scored 145. That was pretty good.
yeah. Pebbles won his matchup. So we will be talking about Tasmanian Devil, Tyler Bacon. Tyler Bacon, you have the best receiver in football on your team. Cooper Kupp is so fun to watch. They scheme plays for him. He is such a great anchor for your team. That's exactly what you want in your first round pick. You pair that with your second round pick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's crushing it. Everybody's like, sell high, sell high. I hope he keeps on this trend where he's just providing value week after week after week. He's getting scoring opportunities. That's what you want in a second round pick. Your 1-2 punch is one of the best in the league right now. It's pretty annoying. I think you and Colin have the best 1-2 punches in the league, and I'm proud of you. Good job with your magazine. It got you through your first 2 rounds. Well done.
Good nuggets. Good nuggets. Okay. I'll take Wergay now. Golden nugget for Wergay now. We're evaluating here on the spot, of course. I'm going to say the production of McCaffrey. Health going into the season was kind of up in the air. He just recently, this past week against Arizona, had his best week of the year, 21 points. Nothing to scoff at. He's played every single game. It was kind of touch and go. Everyone's scrambling to pick up his backups last week, and then McCaffrey comes through huge. So you love to see it as a McCaffrey manager. Currently has no sign of an injury designation. So nice job. Nice job. There's one golden nugget. Second golden nugget, Mark Andrews is continuing to crush it. I know he had a down week last week. Buffalo is a tough defense for anybody, but before that, back-to-back over 20-point games, over 11 targets per game. Obviously Lamar's favorite target, and the Ravens are banged up at receiver. Stu knows about Bateman. So I think green pastures ahead for Wergay now.
Very fun. I'm going to hop on over to our boy. I'm unvaxxed, but immunized. You
Nice.
had a rough week. And you know what?
Golden nuggets.
Golden nuggets. Sometimes you need to get smacked in the face early in the season for your team to stop taking the year lightly, right? They got to recognize they got to put in some hard work. They got to get vaxxed. I don't know how. Your team is a very good team. Right now, you're just dealing with a couple key injuries. Like you didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown last week, which was really tough. So you had to sub in Marvin Jones Jr. and you put up a goose egg. You would have had Zay Jones. Turns out he is the secret to the Jacksonville Jaguars' success. Who knew that house of cards would come crumbling down without this key Zay Jones piece? Your running back core is elite. Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, and Ramondre. Do you Ramondre what I really am? Your running back core is amazing. If your alphas can get healthy, get right, you're going to be one of the best teams in the league. It's just hopefully they get healthy fast and you don't take too many L's along that way.
Yeah, when he gets the sun god back, I think the ship will be righted.
Yes.
All right. Then I'm going to go with, this is a fun one. No, I'll let you do that one. I will do is Mike Evans going to have to choke a bitch. This was a rough week. Even though he still put up over 100 points and more than I did, he's got 4 players that did not combine for 10 points, including negatives from Ricky James Jr. But this is Golden Nuggets. This is not about the past. This is about the present and future. And what I want to say is that Jalen Hurts is going to smush the Cardinals this week in your matchup. Okay. And obviously, your two highly coveted receivers, Hill and Evans, had great weeks and will continue to do so. Even Teddy Two Gloves couldn't bring down Tyreek Hill.
Teddy Two Gloves.
There he goes. Mike Evans going to have to choke a bitch. Okay, your turn. And actually, there's
Nice.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I'll take you, so you don't have to talk about it. I'll fluff you up a
So
little
can you
bit.
imagine if I'm saying my own silver linings?
Yeah. What do I have to look forward to? Well, sir, Lamar Jackson scoring 13 points is unsustainable. He will be back. Have no fear, and he will be back with a fury. You're gonna be just fine, Buckaroo. And let me tell you why. You're never going to make the mistake of starting Cooper over Josh Jacobs ever again. No, I'm just kidding. That was an objectively the right move. Amari Cooper versus the hapless Falcons, the flightless birds, those dirty
Flightless
birds.
Falcons.
Yeah, the flightless Falcons. That was the right move versus instead of Josh Jacobs versus a hefty Broncos defense. Don't let that one wear on you. You have Gerald Everett, one of the best tight ends in the league for fantasy purposes right now, while Keenan Allen remains out. So that's great. You won't ever make that mistake again. And then your heart and soul of your team, the Chubster. Really, where you went wrong was just changing your team name from Smuggy, Chubby.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come back. Yeah. We'll see. Gotta get a win first, then we can go back.
Yeah, I think Pittman and Waddle putting up 5 points each is that's ridiculous. Just a bad week, and you still manage to put up 102. When other teams have bad weeks, we score in the 70s. When your team has a bad week, you score 100. Golden Nugget.
Golden Nuggets. TM. Golden Nuggets TM. Okay, let's see. It's the last matchup. Because we got freshly minted. I will go down with this Pitts.
Is that a song that I don't know?
I will go down with this shit. I won't throw my hands up in surrender. Who is that? That's Dido, right?
He's got the picture of her as his
this ship. Dido, yeah, White Flag. And actually, that was the theme song of the smash hit on cable television, Roswell, in the 90s and early aughts.
Wow.
Yeah. In any case, what's your silver lining? Well, Mike Williams has had back-to-back. He's had 2 out of 3 great weeks. Okay, Mike Williams is back. Honestly, you probably can throw out that Jacksonville game for any Chargers offensive players. They all struggled, right? So Williams obviously is a top dog, especially because Allen is out. 120 yards on 7 receptions is phenomenal. Lamb giving his back-to-back. Well, that's really interesting. 18.7 and 18.7 back-to-back weeks. This is the Lamb that Adam drafted. This is the Lamb that I had for the majority of the year last year. This is the Lamb.
This lamb is your lamb. This lamb is my lamb.
That's right. And oh wow, for a second I thought Derrick Henry also matched his score identically. Is identically even a word? From the last, I was about to freak out. I think this pumpkin spice is getting in my head. In any case, your ballers are starting to ball out. Okay, it's not going to be every week that your quarterback fumbles 4 times. So even though this is a tough one to swallow because it was a close loss, and actually I picked you to win one of my incorrect ones, I think you get your W this week, buddy. I think you get your W this week.
First, you'll get your W. We believe.
So anyway, that was Golden Nuggets. Okay, if you want to hear your Golden Nuggets later on this season, which is a brand new segment, not only of this podcast, but of all football podcasts, continue to listen to the People's Pod.
Yeah, and in light of that, actually, we do take requests for $5 or a tall boy of any beverage of your choosing. We will give your team a golden nugget shout out. Yeah. All right. Moving on. I almost said Smirnoff Ice for some reason, and that was just terrible. Let's hop into this week's League Pick'em. We're gonna do it live.
Hell yeah. We're doing it live. Which one do you
I'm
want to start
going
with?
Kyler of Duty versus I'm unvaxxed but immunized.
Ooh, this one's good. This is the one I actually have notes for.
Oh, dope. You should start.
Okay. Okay. First note, Kyler versus Philly equals stack in trouble, question mark. Philly is a
Oh,
good defense. They've so I had the Jefferson of the Vikings. The Vikings did terribly against the Eagles when they played them. And so I can see this similar fate happening to Kyler and therefore Marquise Brown. I mean, Kyler's been pretty consistent except for his one 13.36 game against the Rams. But I don't know. That's a tough defense. And, you live by the stack or die by the stack. So they game plan for Hollywood and can contain Kyler. I think it'd be a rough week for Pebbles. Is first note. Second note is Peb's current double tight end, parentheses, 3 on roster, exclamation point, close parentheses. Interesting that of the two that are currently in his starting lineup, his boy, left tackle George Kittle, is not one of them. So,
ouch, zing, right through the
I,
heart.
I think we're about 2 weeks away from myself acquiring George Kittle from Pebbles for a bag of peanuts. So we'll just throw that one out there and we'll see what happens. Next note. This one's about Daddy. Injuries looming for Stu. So he's got both Bateman and St. Brown as questionable. Bateman on the wrong side of questionable, right? And then if you look at his bench, it's just a wasteland of red. Stu currently is without a kicker. We can throw that out there. He's probably waiting for another one of his cues, Butker barely newer, to see what he's up to. But yeah, Stu's team is banged up. Where he's in mid-season form in the injury front. Next note: Dalvin Cook a big game? Question mark. Herbert for Pebs. So Cook is playing Chicago. We talked about their defense, how they're middling in terms of fantasy points for you. Cook also has underachieved for sure, although his opportunities are certainly there. Whereas on the other side of the matchup, we have Herbert, who is kind of a coin flip. I mean, with the same number of opportunities, he scored like triple the amount of points against Houston as he did against the Giants. So a big game from Herbert and a not so big game from Cook could spell trouble for Daddy. And then the last note, which is more of a side note, is Stu's team is hashtag keeping up with the Joneses. Lots of Joneses on this team. Be that as it may, I am going to circle back to my very first point. Stacked in trouble, question mark, and I'm going to choose Daddy to win this one.
Nice. I'm going Pebbles.
Okay, should we just move on to the next one here? Well, we can move on and you can talk about the next one. That's good. That'll
I
be
don't.
good for time
Yeah.
purposes.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll talk about my matchup then because I'm
Unless you
familiar with
have
my
a
team.
burning desire that you want to talk about something about
I
that
just
matchup.
I don't think Pebbles is gonna roll with that double tight ends start. He's got the flyer and Jahan Dotson. So I think we see him who he's been an impressive rookie so far this season, and we all know that Wentz is trying to slang it. And I think that not all of Stu's alphas are healthy, and so I think at least one of them misses time. Yeah. He also has 2 Browns, AJ and Amon-Ra.
I'm
collecting.
brown with the Joneses, down with the sickness.
Ooh,
The
yeah,
too much for a reach.
I liked it.
Brown with the PJ.
Um,
Wow, is that the
big
first compliment
news.
you've ever given me about a team name that I've created?
I don't think
Is
that
that half compliment?
yeah, I don't think that was a compliment, more of like acceptance. Like, okay, I see it. I see where you're coming from. Um, but yeah, anyways, on the spot while podcasting, it was a good one. Moving to born again virgins versus is Mike Evans gonna have to joke a bitch? Um, I'm choosing myself here. Key
My
factor
God.
in this matchup currently. Big news announced today: Jonathan Taylor Thomas is out, and your boy has Naeem Hines, his backup. So that's huge for me. Um, Other than that, I think that my team is coming into its own. It's starting to feel themselves.
Yeah, you're wiggling
Jamar
around a little bit.
Chase,
Being
yeah, I'm feeling myself. Jamar Chase gets to play against Baltimore, who gives up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So that's really exciting. I'm hoping for just all of the fantasy points there. Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton play on Thursday night. So that's fun against Indianapolis. They've been a little bit sus. So I'm hoping they keep the stack game strong. Yeah, I think that Bill has a lot of Jets on his team. They're playing Miami, who has been a shockingly good team this year. And I've just had this like odd fantasy defense so far this year where people I have the least points against by far. And that's gotten me where I am. And so I'm hoping, praying that the trend continues and Blood Diamond Bill is bloodied by the end of this weekend.
So you're taking the Bill defense. So you are citing your own Blood Diamond defense
Yes,
as your reason. Okay.
against the OG.
So a few things. One, I think it's ridiculous. You talked about your own matchup. That's funny. Two, first note, what's up with Chase? Question mark. Hasn't really done much, right? So Higgins, I think, is the beneficiary of this, and maybe defenses are now wise to Chase's potential. As you know, the past 3 weeks, his manager, he hasn't scored over 10.10. Not what you want in your first round pick. Next note, missing Keenan. Said before the pod, or actually was on the pod. Some point was like, you can have a nasty team if you had Keenan Allen. No Keenan Allen, no nasty team. Of course, that's how that equation works. And then final note, Hills plus Evans plus Hertz v. AZ will spell Weave's doom.
Ugh,
So I'm taking Bill.
not my doom. I need a hurricane to go to Arizona.
Also, your Bush is super close, and Bill hasn't even replaced Jonathan Taylor yet.
I know. Bill's bush is massive. I keep a well kept bush.
Well,
Moving on.
speaking of a
We got 5
massive
minutes.
bush. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. I got notes for this one right here. No, not that one. That's a mirage. What's a king to a Godwin versus is tradesman a good trade? Is that what it is? Is tradesman a good ... is what I'm seeing right now.
Job.
Okay, this is a fun one. Last Browns versus LAC game, the Clippers, was a massive shootout. It was like 48-45 or something. Now that was with Baker Mayfield slanging the rock, so probably will be different. But Brissett has showed well in his time with the Browns, and Herbert looks like he's getting over his rib issue. So I think anyone in that game is going to feast. An interesting thing about this is we have the stack of all stacks, hashtag the stack, versus Gabe Davis, right? Davis has been banged up. However, the Bills' tertiary receivers, McKenzie, and there's a fourth guy. In any case, they're also banged up. So it's like whoever plays is going to get funneled those targets. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this, part of why I started Cooper this week is the previous week Amari Cooper, that is. He played against the Steelers and put up big numbers. And now we got the hashtag the stack against the Steelers, which is another fun wrinkle. O'Malley's stack versus his Steelers.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of momentum for the stack squad. So although he's not ahead in Bush right now, I'm going to take him. Looking at it, also we have the Buffalo defense in that game on Max's favor. This is just a fun game for this matchup all around. But yeah, I'm taking O'Malley's, he who loves wingspan.
I love that. I love that for you. I'm going with Maxwell.
Boo.
And yeah, he's finally getting Kamara back. He's benching Zeke. Oh, you hate to love to see somebody benching their third round pick, was it? Let's see. Player history. Yep.
I think he benched in the last few weeks too. Maybe not last, the week before last.
He's got to earn the locker room's respect again.
We've taken Max. Okay.
Yep. Although, yeah, I'm in it. I'm living with my choice. Boom, game on. Saquon Barkley is going to blow up. Moving on to the last place, Buckaroo Bowl. I bet it won't be the Buckaroo
we love
Bowl.
We love the Buckaroo Bowl. God, everyone loves a good Buckaroo Bowl.
The Bush Buckaroo Bowl.
The Bush Bowl.
I'm going with Sones here, and I think it's not. I think that Sones reinvented his locker room. He got rid of the negative guys, the negative energy. He brought in some can-do attitudes. They've got a lot of dad jokes being said in their locker room. Not that Adam's team doesn't do that, because they've got their own dad jokes. But
podcaster Aaron Weaver says, I will go down with this Pitts hates dad jokes in their locker room.
Yeah. I think that Adam's got a lot of headwind this week. He's starting a lot. And by a lot, there's two Falcons against Tampa Bay, whose defense is historically strong.
Some may say that's 20% of his roster.
That is 20% of his roster. Yeah, it'll be fun to see which quarterbacks end up playing in this matchup. I guess Tua's out and so is Dak. So never mind.
Still be fun.
This is a battle of the mediocre quarterbacks, and that actually could be the difference maker. If Trevor Lawrence puts up 25 and Derek Carr puts up his 11, it's a big point differential. But yeah, I'm going Sounds here.
All right. Well, after doing zero research on this specific matchup and now reviewing the players and regretting what I said earlier in this podcast, I'm going to take Adam to win this one. I'm going to roll with him for the second week in a row because I want to be a man of my word. And what are the chances that Brad's newly invented locker room hits for the second week in a row, huh? They got some fuckery going on in Philadelphia. Miles Sanders can't have 27 attempts for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns every week, and he barely won by the skin of his teeth. So I'm taking Adam.
It's a salty pick. All right, moving on to
analysis.
Yeah, we're gay now. Yeah, we got to go. We're gay now versus performance-enhancing PEDs.
Yes. And we can extend a little bit.
Drugs.
I think we got like 10 more minutes to wiggle with. They can meander, talk, chit chat.
Meander. Yes, it's good. It's good. DeAndre Swift still remains out. Scott saved by his handcuff move. It's huge. This is a battle of the baller tight ends, Kelsey versus Mandrews. Love to see that.
Wow, Mandrews.
The Mandrews. Yeah. Evan still rolling deep with his Jags. He lives and dies by the Jags. He was claiming he was going to set the all-time low record and then put up a respectable 93 points. That was premature. And almost out of principle, I should not choose you, but I will because I think that your team is positioned in a stronger way this week.
Yeah, this is a fun one. Evan's got a large bush. Scott's is medium bush, average bush, perhaps well-kempt bush. But we saw Scott's blow up potential and putting up the new league high scorer last week.
Mm-hmm.
Fun in that we have running backs in the Jacksonville-Houston game facing off, in addition to obviously Kirk for Evan and Cooks for Scott. So we got a lot riding. We got some Texans versus some Jaguars in this one. I think the Jaguars are going to be ahead in that game, so that could favor obviously Cooks, but then not favor Kirk, but favor Robinson and not Pierce. So a lot of ins and outs. We're hedging. We're hedging here. Yeah, I mean, in going with the golden nuggets that we talked about earlier, McCaffrey and Mandrews for Evan. I will also choose Evan and his out of control Bush.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Evan's gonna have fun watching Christian McCaffrey play against our Niners. Hopefully, we just fuck them up. But yeah, I never watch the Panthers games otherwise.
Some football is going to be played. Some people are going to score some points, both in the real world and in the fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
Last matchup, we got Dickerus versus Tasmanian Devil. What do you think? You going to go with logic or you going to go with your heart?
My heart is where my logic is, and I'm going to choose Dickerus. Yes. Unfortunately, I think your team is just better. I'll be interested to see if you play Amari Cooper based on what you said earlier. The last time the Browns and Chargers played, it was a shootout. Be funny. But yeah, I'm going with you. You have a clear advantage. Chubb versus CEH. Jacobs versus Connor have kind of been equivalent. Taysom Hill, trinket, quarterback, tight end, just scoring touchdowns. So many designed touchdown plays for him. You have the quarterback advantage. Jefferson versus Cup. Both
That's
have blow-up
one.
potential. Yeah, that could be a fun little side bet for you two. Yeah, I think
texting bacon now. Yes, I also am choosing myself. Yeah, I definitely am going to play Cooper. I think the Browns will be behind to that one. They also put up their lowest point total of the year in not throwing to him against the Falcons. So I think they correct that, and it's going to be a shootout in any case. I have been forced to play Jacobs because of the Patterson injury.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then also put Garrett in there, although I don't want to give up on Conklin. I was going to applaud Adam earlier for his ability to cut bait a week later after spending fab money. I have more like, what is that? Like hoarding, like this is mine. I just got it. I gotta give it one more week.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I'm not cutting bait with Conklin just yet. Although conversely, Patterson going on IR frees up a spot for me. But in any case, I think my team is better, his position better, I'm better. I'm going to
win. This is the most Dickerous comment of all time. I can't wait to see you come flaming and crashing down.
Let's see, when is this done with? We got Thursday. We got Josh Jacobs on Monday. And we got, oh, wow, it's so fun. Jacobs versus Clyde Edwards-Helaire on Monday for the matchup. Bacon, let's get some kind of like shotgun bet or something going on. This could be good times.
Wow. I chose Bush Reed in every matchup. How fun. Cool.
Okay. Select
well, that's
to win.
It. You got to get out of here, bro.
Pick to win. This was fun. Glad we could have introduced that, dare I say, groundbreaking segment. We will be seeing the next few games. I should be available all of Sunday for group me shenanigans and ranking snaps and whatnot. So looking forward to that. And good luck to everyone. Good luck to Adam. Secure that win against Smugman. And of course, go Padres. Big playoff series this weekend. We'll see you
Yes,
guys
good
next
luck.
weekend.
Good luck to you, sir, and have fun at the concert tonight. And
Thank you.
oh, wow. That's the producer on the line. We're already getting sponsorship opportunities from the Golden Nuggets segment. Wow, that's so cool. All right. Catch y'all later, huh?
Just a couple of bells.